For someone who has been struggling with weight, a weight loss plateau can be very frustrating. This simply means that the scale stops going down. Like all of a sudden, you have not changed your plans, you have not changed your workout routines, and then the scale stops moving. This can be frustrating and also dangerous, because if you let it remain there for so long, the scale will start moving upwards. So what are some of the things that causes a weight loss plateau? We have number one, the drastic calorie restrictions. If you do drastic caloric changes, your body will definitely start putting up mechanisms so that it can start protecting itself and start working with what you're giving it. So unless you're going to stop completely eating, continuing to cut down calories is not the solution here. The second reason that might get you to a weight loss plateau is definitely age. Every 10 years, your metabolism slows down by 10%. If your metabolic rate was at 80% in your 20s, it is expected to go down to 70% in your 30s, 60% in your 40s, 50% in your 50s. With a slowed metabolism and no alterations in your dietary and physical habits, you're definitely going to experience some weight loss plateau, even if you are losing the weight. Another reason that you might develop the weight loss plateau is definitely the change in your body composition. When you're losing the weight, unfortunately, if your plan is not geared towards good supply of nutrients, both macros and macros, you are going to experience some muscle mass loss. And you see, muscles are very good in maintaining a high BMR, and if your body composition changes to less muscle mass, you're definitely going to have a lower BMR and you are going to experience some stagnation in weight loss. So my name is Lilian Momina. I am a registered clinical nutritionist, and in today's video we are going to talk about some of the most effective tips to ensure that you break the weight loss plateau and maintain a healthy lifestyle. So the first thing that you need to do is ensure that your body is well fueled. A well fueled body means that there is energy, there is adequate supply of nutrients to ensure that the metabolism is well taken care of. This is very important because you're going to teach your body to be comfortable with what you're giving it. So your body will not need to put up mechanisms to try and slow down the BMR, hormonal changes, to ensure that you eat more so that the body cannot continue with the weight loss. Fuel your body for success, fuel your body for energy, fuel your body for health. It is very important. The second thing that you're going to do to ensure that you break the weight loss plateau is switch up your exercise or physical routine. It can be in terms of time, the time that you're going to work out. It can be in terms of frequency, and it can also be in terms of the type of exercise that you're going to do. Exercise might not be so important in weight loss, but it is very important if you want to maintain the weight loss. It's going to ensure that your BMR stays high. So ensure that you're also working with a trainer or a dietitian to ensure that your body composition and the exercise routines that are being planned for you are effective enough for weight loss and weight management. Another thing that you need to do is increase your intake of protein. I am not going to say a high intake of protein because you might not be physically active enough to accommodate or actually consume the high intake of proteins, and this can again lead to weight gain. But I am talking about increasing the amount of protein in your meals. Protein has a higher thermic effect of food. This basically translates to amount of calories that are needed to digest particular types of nutrients. Protein has the highest. Second is carbohydrates, and third is fat. Another thing, protein is the nutrient that is tasked with repair and building things. So if you want to build muscles, which as I've said are very good for increasing and maintaining a high BMR, you will need some protein. Combine both plant and animal sources of protein to ensure that you're getting the best out of these nutrients. The next thing that you need to do is increase your fiber intake. This is basically to control the hormones. You're not going to trigger your brain to release hormones that are going to make you want to eat because your brain is full. Fiber is a macronutrient. Again, this means it is needed in large amounts, and the body cannot actually produce fiber, so you have to take it on a day-to-day routine. An average of 300 milligrams a day is very essential. How do we achieve this? As I always say, by ensuring that we increase our intake of fruits and vegetables. 3 to 4 servings of fruits or vegetables a day is very essential. The next thing that you need to do to ensure that you break the weight loss plateau is manage your stress well. Unfortunately, in the world that you are living, when you're a grown-up, when you're an adult, you cannot avoid stress. They are part and parcel of life. Again, your body has adaptations to ensure that it deals with the stressful conditions. One of the adaptations is that your body will release cortisol, that is the stress hormone, to convert glycogen in the liver to glucose, to produce and release glucose for energy so that your body can utilize that energy to tackle the stress that it is going through. That is very important. But you see, over time, if the stress levels are chronic, the glycogen stores are going to be depleted and your body is going to be triggered to eat more so that it can have more available glucose in your body. And then when this happens, you're going to have the blood circulation of glucose going high. What happens after this is that the body is going to produce more insulin to ensure that after the uptake of the needed glucose by the cell has happened, insulin is going to convert the extra glucose into fat. This brings weight gain, which stops weight loss. I know life is hard, I know things are tough, but try to make sure that every day that you try to work towards ensuring that you live a stress-free life. Do things that you like. Make sure that at least 30 minutes a day workout. It's good for your mental health as well. And listen to music, talk to people, engage in activities that release good dopamine. The next thing that you need to do is definitely go low carb. I have talked about why the body will release more insulin. So when you overconsume carbohydrates, what will happen? Your body will continue storing fat. One of the ways that you can ensure that you reduce your intake of carbohydrate is ensuring that on your plate, when you're serving your meals, you have a source of protein, you have your source of fiber, you have your source of fat, and you have a source of carbohydrate. When you're eating, make sure that if there's something that is going to remain on this plate, let it be carbohydrate. Again, be very cautious with overconsumption of protein if you're trying to lose weight and you're not physically active, or you don't actually need the high intake of protein, because the body cannot actually store protein, so it has to convert it to glucose, and this is basically fat for storage. Another thing on fats, ensure that you take healthy fats. Do not do the unhealthy fats, because I have talked about increasing your intake of fats. Do avocados, do nuts, fish. You can always add a cod liver oil supplement every now and then. The next thing that you need to do is incorporate intermittent fasting. It is a way of ensuring that you reduce the frequency and the number of times that you're going to eat in a day. This is beneficial in weight loss because it is going to give your body time to burn the fats that you're going to use. That's the first thing. Another thing, it is going to reduce the overproduction of insulin, make you more insulin sensitive, because when you're insulin insensitive, it means that your blood glucose is going to be high and uncontrolled. It means that you're going to have high rates of conversion of glucose to fat and such. This is how insulin resistance causes obesity and overweight, and definitely type 2 diabetes. Also, when you're doing your intermittent fasting, plan to ensure that you are feeding your body, you're fueling your body well enough, and you're taking care of yourself as good as you can, because you only have yourself. So be good to yourself. Make sure that you take care of yourself well. The next thing that you need to do is to focus on habits rather than the scale. One of the things that you can do to track down your habits is having a food diary. Write down the time, the portion, the composition, and the frequency of feeds that you're going to have in a day. It is very important because you can have a reference point to see what you're doing right or wrong in this weight loss plan, and this will definitely guide in ensuring that you adjust your plans effectively. It is very important because, again, I always say you can have the best meal plan, team of people, but if your habits are bad, nothing will work. The next thing that you need to do is ensure that you're well hydrated. Hydration is very important in weight loss. It is going to reduce your stomach capacity of food, especially if you're used to intake of large amounts of food. Hydration is important because it is going to improve digestion, and again, it is going to also help in excretion of the waste products, reducing storage, bloating, and all these uncomfortable situations that are caused by indigestion. Take plain water, take black coffee, black tea, green tea, hibiscus, wheatgrass, chia seeds. All these are very important because they are going to increase your phytos as well, and they are going to improve antioxidant supply in your body, reducing inflammation that triggers obesity. Another thing that you need to do is also focus on like your body composition rather than the scale. Sometimes the scale can lie because your weight is not going down, but you're building muscle, your skeletal mass is great. It is important that every once in a while, like maybe once a month or once in every 2 or 3 months, you do a full body composition to assess your success. It's not always about the scale. Remember that. The next thing that you need to do to break the weight loss plateau is ensure that you heal and repair your gut. If your stomach cannot absorb it, your body cannot utilize it. And you see, there is a very good relationship between your stomach and your brain. How your brain function is definitely related to your stomach. So it is important that you heal and repair your gut. In this video right here, I talked about some of the things that you can do to heal and repair your gut. So have a look and let's meet there. Bye.